Welcome back to the official Atari Games podcast. I'm your host, Jason Polansky, and I am joined by a very special guest. We got VernNotice, content creator, streamer. He's also streaming on the Atari Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Atari every
Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern.
I had it written down. Then I deleted
Yeah.
it for some reason. Don't know why.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
We say that now, and the last like 3 streams have been off Thursdays. But normally Thursday, 6 p.m. twitch.tv/Atari is where you'll find me.
Awesome. And thank you for joining, Vern. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Just hanging out today.
Awesome. That's good. And just to go through the quick rigmarole before we get to talk about all things VernNotice, etc. Check out the Atari Club Discord. Links below. Review the podcast if you're listening, if you like it, if you came by, if it's your first time here because you're like, Vern's on the podcast. Oh my God. Well, if that's the case and you like it, go review us from your favorite podcast service of choice. 5 stars is key. Say whatever you want in the description. I don't care. You can say nice things, mean things, but 5 stars. Just write 5 stars. That helps the algorithm, helps us grow, expose us to more listeners, which would be great. And also, this is releasing while we're recording pretty well in advance. This is releasing the day after the Disney Afternoon Collection is out for Switch and Switch 2. So if you haven't done so, check out the podcast 2 episodes back where did an extensive interview where we go deep into all the ins and outs of it and play a fun little game at the end. And check out the game for yourself on Switch and Switch 2. A lot of fun stuff in there. Well, Vern, did you stream it yet?
Not yet, but I'm sure we will get into it. Yeah, okay. It's probably on the schedule at some point.
Yeah, it's probably around that. Well, if it's Thursday, so it might be the day it comes out.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't even manage that.
I can't speak to it yet. I get my notifications a week at a time.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Well, hey, let's talk about you. But before we do, we started a conversation off the recording, which I think is important to get into and get started with. What's up with the neon lights? Why is that a requirement
every streamer,
for streaming? Yeah,
it's like an aesthetic thing, and I can't stand it. It's awkward. I mean, it looks good. It does look good on stream. Like right now, I have no lighting. I don't know if this is a video as well, video podcast section.
Yeah.
It looks.
Well,
it looks
it's
all
audio
right.
and video. Yeah.
It looks all right, you know.
Looks
and I have
good.
no like professional lighting. I have it available, but I don't use it ever because it's a little bit easier on my eyes. The LEDs. But as a 34-year-old man having to stick LED lights to my walls and watch them fall and then having to go put them back up. I told you it's a little emasculating. I don't know. It's just such a weird feeling having to order neon lights for my office. It's weird. It feels like very juvenile, but it looks good. So
I like a neon light. We did a partnership. I think we have it's a licensing deal where there are like Atari neon lights, and we got a sample of the Bubsy neon lights in the office, and it's so bright. It's so bright. Even walking by. So Sam Brown, who was on the Disney Afternoon Collection podcast, but on many before, our release manager at Atari, he's there in the office with me, and he like immediately put it right on his cube on the outside of it. So now you see it as you're walking down the hallway. Yeah. You just see this bright Bubsy neon light,
That's
even
so
with
awesome.
a fluorescently lit office. So they can be cool. I like a neon light. It's essential for Cyberpunk, right?
Yeah.
But there seems to be a streaming starter kit, which is get your ring light, get your chair, get the neon lights, really dim it all down. There's a vibe. There's an expected vibe.
For sure. You know what? I'm going to take back the comment about hating them because the LED strips are, like I said, a little juvenile, but I love my VernNotice neon sign. I got that actually from Twitch. They were doing like a campaign for streamers. If we hit X amount of goals or whatever, we would get a customized neon light. So I didn't even have to pay for that one. Showed up on my door, and it is extremely bright. That's the lowest setting, and it's still a little washed out on camera.
That's wild. It works. It all works. And you got obviously the soundproof padding, all that stuff. I love the aesthetic of those things. And where, in case people start listening, they're like, I'm done. Where can people find you outside of Atari? Like, where do you stream outside of Atari streams?
I stream early on my own channel, twitch.tv/VernNotice. You can find me pretty much everywhere at VernNotice except YouTube, which is my old handle. It's at Loading God Mode. But if you just search
Okay.
for a notice, I'm sure you'll come across my page wherever you need me. Social medias, TikToks, whatever.
All right, cool. And you'll send me the links and we can drop those in the description below as well.
Cool, cool,
Cool.
cool. Yeah, come follow
But
me.
yeah, do it. Follow Vern, not physically.
Yes, that's a crime. I will
Yes,
report you.
that is called stalking. Don't do
It
that.
is what it
But do
is.
follow him on the socials. All right, let's hit the eject button on that train of thought and get right into this. I want to know what got you into streaming. What was the gateway game,
Oh,
if there was one?
what got me into so? Oh man, it depends on how deep we want to go into this because
As deep as you want to go. We got time. You got the whole afternoon free, and honestly, I
that
don't.
is
But that's
true.
okay. I'll give you as much time as we take.
We could make this a banger of a podcast.
Let's do
So
it.
I started making content. My first ever YouTube video was uploaded in 2007. Okay. And I wanted to get into, I was a sophomore in high school. I wanted to get into editing film and TV. I was a big fan of media forever. And so I was like, how do I access this? And it was right around the time that uh, gaming montages started to become really prevalent on YouTube.
Mm,
And I was like, if I want to practice editing, it'll probably be much cheaper to just go out and buy a $150 capture card than it would be, and a lot less time consuming than to like buy a nice camera, write out a script, film even short films, whatever. So I was like, I'm just gonna make montages and practice editing in that capacity. And so I did that, and I just fell in love with Gears of War was the game that I played at that time.
of course.
And so I'd make Gears of War montages, and I fell in love with it. And then that eventually evolved into Modern Warfare 2, and then it evolved into commentaries, and then we added a face cam, and then it like just kind of just snowballed from there to where like Justin.tv, but in Twitch became like the natural progression from that. And it started generating a little bit money. And in 2015, I quit my day job to pursue content creation full time, and now I stream 5 days a week on Twitch, upload every day to YouTube. So it's
That's
awesome.
awesome. What was the day job?
I was working in manufacturing. I'm from Detroit, so there's pretty much two courses for an 18-year-old male. It's either college or you get a manufacturing job. And I was trying to do both. Ended up dropping out of college, and
Oh, yeah.
uh,
Worked
just
out.
I mean, it did work out. Yeah, I don't recommend it, but it did. It was a lot. I was dealing with. I was going to school part time. I was working full time. Um, and I was also trying to do YouTube and stuff like that. And something had to give. And I was like, going to school part time was like so time consuming, and it felt like I was like making such slow progress. That I was like, you know what, I can always come back to this if something else doesn't work out. And so I took that leap of faith, and it did end up working out. And I'm forever grateful for it. You know?
Yeah. What were you going to school for?
I hadn't made up my mind yet, so I'm pretty sure when I was going, it was for something very general, like business communications or something like that. But
Okay.
I never even got into like the fine of that at all. It was just like gen ed classes for the majority of it.
And did you always have this dream, I suppose, as you started doing these edits, these montages? Like, were you trying to see if that was there ever a thought that you could make a career of that back in, 2007?
With gaming, absolutely not. There was no money in it.
Right.
Dude, the first time that my first paycheck from this is back in like the YouTube Machinima days, and like that's a
Yeah.
whole nother rabbit hole
Let's
of
do it.
like it. I mean, well, Machinima no longer exists.
I
Awful
know. Yeah.
company taking advantage of everyone. Um, um, but when I first got my first check from them, it was like $200, and I was like, that was for 2 videos a day for 31 days of the month, and it was $200, and I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever. I played video games and now can make my car payment almost from playing video games. Like, this is a dream. So there wasn't like, oh, I'm quitting my job and I'm doing YouTube. It was like, this is gonna be like, I want to do this. It's fun for me. It's a creative outlet, and it can pay a bill a month, which is awesome. And then dude, after I think Fortnite really like people started pumping money. And granted, there was obviously a lot of content creators that were doing it for full time before then. But after Fortnite came along, companies and corporations were pumping money into the ecosystem of online video games.
Yeah, that's true. That game blew up. I mean, you want to talk about a game that kind of went on a hell of a journey in and of itself, starting off with the save the world mode that nobody cared about. And then the battle royale came out as a beta, and then all of
So
a sudden everybody it took over the
I,
world. Go
that's
ahead.
super funny that you know that, because I being a Gears of War like montage maker, like that's where I got my start on YouTube. I got I made some friends over at Epic, and when Fortnite was just like a little baby concept, they invited a bunch of us out to come try it. And there was no battle royale. It was just the like building and like horde mode type deal.
Mhm.
And at the end of our like play session, this is like very early alpha, they were like, we also have this game mode, and it was more akin to Halo than it was like a BR, where like you had two teams and you could like build up a base around one of the llamas, and then you'd have to go and like kill the other team's llama before they destroyed yours. And it was like super fun. And we're like, dude, you guys have something here. And then crickets, boom, BR. And we're like, oh, all right, awesome. This is great.
Now, at any point, did somebody say during that, it would make this even better if I could dress up as Spider-Man and shoot my friend just dressed as Darth Vader?
That wasn't a conversation that we had at that
Okay.
time, but after hindsight, it's a great move.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love queuing up as Eminem and fighting a sea of Gokus.
yeah.
It's an
Really,
incredible thing.
Goku's with guns.
Yeah, yeah.
It's absolutely wild. What was the game in 2015 that you started with? Do
Oh
you remember?
man, I don't really recall what game I was playing at that time, because I definitely like am a variety streamer. I have games that I go back
Okay.
to a lot. Like League of Legends is probably a mainstay on my channel.
Mm.
Um, But I used to play a lot of shooters, a lot of sports games. I was really big into NBA 2K. I played a lot of Call of Duty, a lot of Gears of War, a lot of Halo. Um, and I think around that time, it was probably like GTA 5 was really big on my YouTube channel back then. And I do recall some early streams of GTA 5 becoming pretty popular amongst my community. So I'd probably say GTA 5.
Yeah, that's about is that wait a minute. Was that the time? Oh yeah, 2015. Yeah, so I guess that
It
would have
probably came
been
out 10 years before that. Honestly,
no,
we've
it was prior, I believe, because I remember it was like right before my buddy moved away. So I want to say it was probably like around 20. Oh man, really do lose track of time as you get older
Well,
and
it doesn't
realize
help that
like,
they've
wait, it couldn't have
re-released
been
the
that
game
long ago.
40 times,
Yeah,
you
but I
know?
want to say it was around 2012. I think it was like 2012, 2013,
Yeah, that sounds about
something like
right.
that. Yeah. But anyway, that's pretty cool. How do you mentioned a wide variety of games. You stream daily, right? How do you separate streaming versus gaming in your free time? Or do you? Or is streaming your gaming time and then you do other
That's
things outside of it?
that's actually like a really good question, because as a
Thank you.
streamer and someone who's been doing it for so long, it's like I know a lot of people who don't stream because they don't want to ruin what they enjoy as a hobby,
Mhm.
And over the years, it definitely has become more of a job, in the sense, not like it's like, oh, I don't want to play video games today, but it's like I need to pick particular games that do well on my channel, not necessarily the games that I want to play, And then sometimes we'll take a stab at something new, and if it does well, we'll continue it. If it doesn't, then we trash it. That's just the nature of things. But as far as like my personal game time, this might be a toxic mentality to have, but like back in the day, I would like like before I was streaming full time, I would play games with friends off stream, and most of them
Mm.
were content creators. And my buddy Brennan, in particular, he's like, "Why don't you just press if you're gaming anyways? Just start stream." And he might not have that same take on it today, but that was the mindset back then. It was like, if I'm trying to grow this channel and I'm trying to make something of it, like I'm gonna be playing video games anyways. I might as well hit start streaming. And so there really isn't much separation. I'll play some like TFT or something on my phone, maybe like during like wind down time in the evenings or something like that. But outside of that, there's really not much gaming going on outside of streaming.
So if you're going to sit down and play a game, you're at the computer, You're like, okay, I want to play. Like, can you give? Well, this actually kind of funnels nicely into my next question because it, you mentioned, oh yeah, I was playing with these guys, and then they said, oh, just hit record. But how do you balance? Because I would imagine there's different forces that be, especially when it is a job, right? If your full time job and career, your livelihood is based on streaming to an audience, how do you balance the what they want, the audience that you already have engaged, what you want, because maybe there's something coming out that might not gel with your brand, right? Like if you're someone who plays League of Legends or like something that's more or like shooters, and then all of a sudden Expedition 33 is coming out, and you're like, man, I really want to play that. And that also kind of, and then I feel like there's a third force, which is the trends, right? Because as something like you might have something you want to play, the audience might have something you want to play, and then all of a sudden Arc Raider shows up, and if you're like, well, this is my livelihood, I don't want to lose these guys to that, but there's also an opportunity to grow. How do you balance all of those things
Yeah.
in your
I mean, you
content?
make a great point, and it is something that I assume content creators deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I'm, I feel like I've been doing this for so long. I feel like I've had my time in the sun, and I'm kind of just like, I don't take this as like I don't want to grow or anything like that, but like I'm comfortable where I'm at, and I'm very,
I
very
think that's
grateful.
healthy though.
Yeah,
That's healthy because it
I'm
allows
like,
you to not, I mean, well, one, you don't burn yourself out. I suppose that's part of
yeah,
it.
for sure. I'm just super grateful for the community that I've built over the years because they're, the amount of times that I'll even talk about this stuff on stream and they're like, we don't care, dude. We'll watch whatever you play. And I'm like, I appreciate that more than you guys will ever know. One, but then like there also is like the business mind where it's like, well, I do still want to grow. I do still need to play games that like produce content that I can use outside of streams, like short form content, YouTube videos and stuff like that. And just recently, actually, we found like a really good system that works on my channel where like I'll play a new single player game for a couple hours, like at the start of stream when people are kind of filtering in, and then I'll move over to like the main game, which would be at League of Legends, or we've been really getting into eugenics this week. And so like that's kind of the system that we have in place right now, and everyone's super supportive, and it's a system that works right now. So I think balance, as far as balance goes, you just need to find something that works for you. If you're sitting there every single day, because I've seen it in friends, like people who main one game because that's all their channel supports, whether it be like League or Apex or something along those lines, and then like they just they beat themselves down mentally as soon as they play something they want to play. They can't even enjoy it because all of a sudden they're equating like their success or their fun in that game to a number in viewership, where it's like, oh, I should just be playing Apex right now. I can't even enjoy this because nobody wants to watch it. Everyone hates me. Like it's like a constant like mind game that you play with yourself. But thankfully, like I said, I feel like I have stuff pretty worked out. There has been a lot of like single players in the past where like I'll start them on stream and they don't do well, and I just abandon them completely.
Oh,
And it
interesting.
sucks because I did enjoy it, but I'm like, not. It's not that I'm like not growing. I'm actively tanking the channel. So like I'm not
Mm.
getting anything out of it. My stream is not necessarily enjoying it, or it's not attracting new people. Um,
Can you
so
give an
they just get
example?
abandoned.
Can
The
you give an
last
example of
one
what you're
that
talking
like
about?
really hurt me because I was really enjoying it was Horizon Zero Dawn, the first one.
Oh no,
I I
that's too
I
bad.
I loved the game and I was having so much fun with it, and I tried it for like a full week, just like trying to like force it because I was having so much fun with it. But it was like single players are also weird on stream because if somebody you get like a big like massive people that don't want to watch your playthrough because they want to play through it themselves. So you isolate a section of your viewerships there, and then you isolate another section where they haven't seen the beginning, so they don't want to watch the middle, or vice
Mm.
versa.
Yeah,
Where
that
they
makes
miss a
sense.
couple of episodes and now they're behind and they don't want to get ahead or they don't want to miss stuff. And it's not like they're just watching for a stream experience, you know? So
Yeah. Would you ever do, or it doesn't even make sense, I suppose, if you did really like that, for example. Do you ever think about or is it possible? Like, I truly don't understand the business. I don't watch streamers. I'm one of those guys who thinks, well, I'd rather play a game than watch
For
somebody
sure.
play a game. That's just how it goes. But I do understand the market exists, and it's real, and it's part of why I wanted to talk to you, just to kind of learn a little bit more about it simultaneously. But if you're streaming for them, right? Because I assume you partake in other media outside of games. Like when the camera's off, what are you doing?
I mean, it depends. A lot of times, my schedule keeps me pretty busy. I go to the gym almost every day.
Brag.
Um, I I have a lot of work to do outside of just streaming, and so
Okay.
if I'm my normal day, I'll
Yeah.
wake up, I'll stream, I'll take a break, go to the gym, and then I'll come home and I'm usually editing YouTube and short form content until like my girlfriend gets home, and then like we kind of just settle into our normal nightly routine, cooking dinner, whatever it may be. Um, but that's usually only for like maybe 3-4 hours before we're trying to like getting ready for bed, and then waking up and doing it again the next day. So
Got it. Yeah, because I think about how would you well, you actually just kind of answered one of my questions I was gonna ask down the road, which was, you mentioned starting with montages. And I was wondering if there was still that interest in the scripted content or montages. And it sounds like with the recordings that you have, you are actively creating that kind of not necessarily scripted content, but you are still flexing that editing muscle to an extent. But you seem to have something on your mind when I bring that up.
yeah, because you're like, I feel like most content creators are just creative types. And for me personally, there's constant ideas that I have in my head and videos that I want to do and things I want to produce. And it's a constant battle of like, is the time that I have to put into it? Because I'm not very proficient at editing or anything anymore. Like, I'm not very good at it. And so it takes me a lot longer than it used to. And so, like, anything that I would want to do, like producing, like produced wise, scripted content is going to be insanely time consuming, and that probably means that like I'm gonna have to take time off stream. I'm not gonna be editing. Like, it's all give and take, and so there are scripted things that I would like to get into. I started a YouTube channel during the pandemic where it was called No Heckin' Way Wednesdays, and I would just deep dive on stream into like conspiracy theories or like anything like cryptids, like anything that really interested me, right? Because I'm real big into that.
Like birds aren't
And
real. Did you talk about that one?
which one? Oh,
Birds
birds?
aren't
Yeah, the
real.
birdemic. Yeah, yeah, for
It's
sure. We
not.
got into that.
I mean, it was a parody of a conspiracy
Yeah,
theory, but it's still my favorite one.
yeah, it's great. But that's what I
It's
mean.
good
It's like
stuff.
so funny, and I think like my love for it comes from a place of like, how can people believe this, and then like understanding their perspective, and then coming to my own like either they're crazy or I kind of get it, you know. So it was something that interested me, and so we were trying it for a long time. It was like a good 2-3 months. We tried it on stream where I would like do the research and stuff on stream, and then try and take those and turn it into like a finished product. But it ended up just not being worth the time at that time. It's like, it's still there for me if I ever choose to get back into it or whatever. But it's like wasn't generating any money, and it was taking time away from things that were generating money, and I like have bills to pay and stuff. So it sucks, but when it's your full-time job, like you have to be responsible about things.
But that's like more of a that's like a scripted that's scripted content that's like many steps removed from gaming, right? What about scripted content around games itself? Do you ever have that desire to do some things like that? I guess when I think about the montage footage you were doing for Gears of War and what that was very early on, where any video of gaming would just feed an audience, and now there's an overwhelming amount of that content. But scripted content like that still has a place, video essays, short form things. I mean, hell, last night I got into a conversation with a friend about the Capcom 5, which then became the Capcom 4, and I was just like, man, only one of these games truly was discarded to the dustbins of history, and that would be Project Number 3. Like, has anybody ever talked about this game? And then I just watched a 10-minute video of this guy
Yeah.
talking about the history of Project Number 3 for no reason. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
That stuff
I mean,
exists.
there's definitely a place for it, and like I do dabble. Like a lot of the so I've been uploading like full playthroughs again on YouTube of like the single player games that we've been playing on stream.
Okay,
And
cool.
a part of me wants to like not just like because I edit them down and remove like uninteresting parts, but I want to like eventually move that into like full on reviews or like ideas or just like I play this game so you don't have to type videos or like the 10 reasons why I enjoyed this is my game of the year, like those types of videos. And like the content's there for it already because we played through the whole game. It's just again finding the time to actually sit down, write something out, and
Yeah,
then find the clips. Because dude, it's one of the most challenging things about streaming and like producing short form content, especially when you're doing it by yourself. And you have like a team behind you and they're clipping stuff and they're finding funny moments or videos or whatever, and they're doing it for you. You can just hop on stream for 8 hours and like be good. Whereas like when you're doing it all yourself, 8 hours is a lot to comb through to find every
oh yeah,
good clip, every good moment, the specific moment that you want to. And the longer you go, the harder it is. And sometimes we'll stream for like 12 hours. And I'm like, where was that 40-second clip in this 12-hour long VOD? You know? And I know I'm gonna get roasted in the comments. They're like, there's a clip feature, there's so many things that you can, and it's
still
like,
time. It adds
well,
up.
it's tough because like a lot of times I'm really in. I try and be as in
Yeah,
the moment as possible. And so, like, if you imagine like someone you're watching someone play through on stream, Expedition 33 we were talking about earlier. Every single time something cool happened, I'm pausing the game to go clip a video, making sure that we're like it's doable, yes, but it also personally takes me out of the experience. And so it's not that I try not to do it. I just naturally don't do it. And then like even
yeah.
when I do remember, it's usually like 45 seconds too late and the clip's bad, but it gives me a timestamp at least where I can go back and then eventually find it.
Yeah. Going back to the games free, I kind of I didn't bring this up now, but I was thinking about this in a when talking about that balance of your interest versus the audience. I want to kind of bring this into a idea of the one for you, one for them in a way. And if you do have this moment outside where you're not working but can still have a moment, like if you really wanted to play Horizon Zero Dawn, which is awesome. I also am a big fan of that series,
Yeah.
and it's super addicting. I love the combat, and maybe you'll get a second crack with this Horizon Hunters Gathering, which is a wild title. But
Yeah.
that's so
Interesting.
maybe you'll have another chance. That's multiplayer. Maybe
Yeah.
that'll have that's some interest. But did you even if you did, would it work to do an after hours type stream where, hey, these are my hours for you guys, you expect this. I'm also, turns out my girlfriend's out of town for a week, and man, I really want to get back to Horizon. So after I'm done working out and eating dinner and all these other things, I'm gonna turn on the camera and play this game for 3 hours a night.
Yeah, there's definitely a space for it, but
Or does that muddy the
about
waters?
I used to be a nighttime streamer. Like I used to stream like in the wee hours of the evening into like the early mornings, and that's what worked for me for years. And as I got older, I realized that I was missing a lot of time with friends, with family, now with a girlfriend. Like there were just a lot of things that like not that I couldn't go to, but it would be like, "Oh, we're having to get together here," and I'm like, I'm streaming. I'm working tonight. I got this. I gotta finish this game, or I gotta edit this video, and so I moved to morning streams to kind of open up my evenings, and then there be able to spend time with people and do not even just spend time, but do things in the evening when most normal people are doing things, going to movies, going out to dinner, stuff like that. Um, and so there is space for it, and I do it occasionally. I
Okay.
just started this new thing where on stream, where every sub that comes through, we spin a wheel, and that wheel will have like minutes on it, 1, 5, 10, whatever it is, and that accumulates all month, and then the next month we'll have one large stream for however many minutes we've accumulated, up
Okay.
to like a 24-hour stream. So we've been doing it all year now. We've done like a 16-hour stream, a 19-hour stream, and so when we
Wow.
plan properly, there's definitely space for it. Those streams tend to kind of just be like just try to survive. I'm an old man now, so I just try and get through them. But there's definitely space for it. It's just finding that space.
Very well done. Man, 19 hours?
Yeah.
What? But I is
I
it
think we
this
played Tarkov for all 19, or no. We played League for all 19 hours. The one before that, we played Tarkov, to Escape from Tarkov for 24 hours.
how do you prepare for a 19-hour stream?
Um, Mostly just to there was a time where I wouldn't, and I would just like order food and it would like whatever happens, happens. Now it's like I like to have like meals planned, at least snacks in the house, like something that I can grab for when I do get hungry. Planning meals, making sure that I have like water, drinks, stuff, and then making sure that I get up during stream as well. Like I'll make a like well known like while streaming, like, hey guys, I'm getting up right now. We're all, if you're hanging out, we're all getting up right now and going to stretch our legs, move our legs around. I don't care if you don't have to go to the walk to the bathroom, walk back. Like we're getting up now. Just dude, being 34, like you feel it now. Like you feel when I'm sitting in a chair for like 4 to 6 hours, you feel it. Thankfully, I stay hydrated enough to where like I'm up to the restroom several times throughout those types of streams. But I try and like if it has been a while, I'll get up and just go walk around the house. Do some body weight squats, anything to just get the body moving.
Yeah, I basically always have a drink on deck whenever I'm sitting anywhere. Like right now, I mean, if you're watching the video, I'm here sipping on some matcha, my second one of the day, and then I got a sidecar of like a cup full of water because that's going to go in there once I'm done with the tea. It's a beautiful thing. You're kind of getting at something that I wanted to bring up. I think it's important, and you kind of mentioned it in passing, but it's important. But I think you said you go to the gym every day.
Just about. I'm on, the
Yeah.
current split that I'm on right now is 5 days a week, so I have
Okay.
2 rest days that are optional. I can go and like do cardio or something if it's a free day, but normally I like to take my rest days.
That's kind of important. Were you always a guy who went to the gym?
Oh, so that's like a whole other side quest
Let's
for
do
me
it.
in
But
particular.
this is why I brought it up because I think it's important. You think about someone who's playing games for a living. You're sitting
Yeah.
down constantly, just like any other desk job. But I think it has this additional. It's not necessarily a stigma per se, but there is definitely something to it where you think about someone who's gaming all day, and it's
Look at the
like
South Park episode, the World of
exactly,
Warcraft
yeah, yeah,
episode.
yeah.
It's Hot
It's
Pockets
paired,
and,
yeah,
and Mountain Dew, Doritos. Like
yeah,
that's our diet as
yeah.
gamers.
Yeah, it's paired with a sense of laziness isn't the worst, but a sedentary nature. So yeah,
Yeah.
take me on this physical health journey. I'm fascinated by it.
I mean, once I've always been on the chubbier side my whole life. As a kid, I never really had great eating habits. And then as an adult, it only got worse once I was in control of my. It was very convenient to just order food every night. And I like just realized one day where like I feel like I was doing laundry and my laundry room is in my basement, and like I'm bringing a basket of laundry up the stairs and I'm winded. I think I was like 260, 270 at that time. And I was like, as someone who
How
used to,
tall? How tall? Let's put this in perspective here.
um, about 5'11". I was gonna lie
Okay,
and say 6 foot because it's kind of a shtick, but I'll say I'm 5'11".
be honest. Be honest.
Um, so in like 3/4, I think 5'11", 3/4. In
You're
shoes, I'm
round
probably
up.
like
You're
six
like
one,
you're like a
six
tall
two.
a tall a tall 5'11".
Yeah, yeah. I got a particular set of shoes that I'm like 6'3", but that's only when I'm going out. Um,
Okay,
So
your
I,
heels.
I was an athlete my whole life. I played basketball growing up. I dabbled in baseball, and so I was always moving. So I never really noticed like
Hmm.
what poor physical condition I had gotten into until I was there. And because I'd always eaten bad, but I was playing basketball 7 days a week, so I didn't really experience it. So then I'm getting older and I'm streaming full time and I'm literally going days without leaving my house. I'm ordering food for twice a day and those were the only meals I was eating, and I was at the biggest. I was scared to weigh myself at that point because I was scared of what the number was going to be. But I was like, something has to change. And so I signed up for the gym. I started going and eventually worked all the way down to 180 pounds was my lightest.
Whoa,
So from like 260, 270 all the way down to 180.
that's
Um,
wild.
Yeah, and so it just became like when you kind of invest so much of yourself into something, it kind of just surrounds you. And it like started becoming my content. Where like I started doing cooking streams when I would like instead of like not streaming, I was like, I have to make dinner tonight. Let's cook on stream. And so like that was a mainstay of my content for years where like I would do my gaming streams and then that night or like in the afternoon when I would have to cook, I would just do a cooking stream instead. Um
How
and
did the audience respond to that? Like, how long
they
were you streaming before you kind of went on this health journey? And did that kind of help support like that journey, or were they like, "Come on, enough of this cooking stuff.
no,
Let's get
they
back to the
I mean,
games."
I also was doing cooking content before it was like IRL had really blown up on Twitch. And so I
Okay.
think that like the people that watch these gamers, they kind of are very intrigued by anything else they have going on in their lives. Like they know that I play video games and they have fun in the video game streams, but it's like, oh wait, VernNotice is cooking? Like, does he know how to cook? Like, let me tune in and see. Oh my god, he has no idea how to use a knife. He's gonna hurt something. Like, and so like there's that intrigue with it. Like I've done basketball streams before as well, and those always like I wouldn't say that like they blew up or anything like that, but there was definitely enough interest from my community to like actually engage and watch and at least enjoy it. Not to where like I'm going to turn my entire content identity into cooking or basketball, but there was enough there to pique some people's interest. So they were very to answer your question, they were very supportive. I mean, I think they kind of understood the place that I was at, like mentally, physically. And if I'm looking at them every day and I'm like, guys, something has to change. They were extremely supportive. Um, but then, like I was saying, it kind of like bled into my content where like all I was talking about on stream now was like working out and dieting and what I was eating and how much protein I was trying to hit. Um, and it got to the point where like it was so much of my content that like the community started asking a bunch of questions and they were like really engaged with it enough so that in like at the end of 2024, well at the about middle of 2024, I actually I started studying and went through the proper courses to get certified to be a personal trainer
Oh, cool.
and then started coaching people all throughout 2025. It's kind of taken a back seat now just because I've just been so busy with so many other things, but I am still a certified personal trainer at this very moment. I could technically, I mean, I guess anyone could claim to be a coach, but I have my certification. So
That's awesome.
it's been an interesting path.
Love that. I'm glad I pulled at that string. That's a very interesting it's a very interesting fact that you're a personal
Yeah,
trainer.
just a
That's
little
really
side
cool.
quest.
Just a little side quest. Just yeah, I've
Yeah,
just got my while I'm streaming full time, I just happen to become a personal trainer and
yeah.
lost like 60 pounds and
It was so funny too because when I got certified and I was telling people that I was studying to become certified, they were like, "Oh, are you done streaming?" I was like, "No." They're like, "Are you gonna go work at a gym?" And I was like, "No, I don't think I would ever want to do that." Um, but I do want to. I think the biggest reason I did it was because I wanted to have the information. Like, obviously, I did it all by
yeah.
myself. I mean, I had help from friends and stuff like that. But as far as like losing weight goes, I didn't take a class or anything. Like, I did it, and so I had the information. But I wanted to solidify that and build trust when answering people or receiving questions and being able to answer them properly and give
Hmm.
people like real information that they can then apply to their lives.
Yeah. Makes sense. That's cool, man. All right, let's bring it back to the streaming stuff.
All
Enough
right.
of all that. Enough of all the health and physical fitness talk. People are here to learn about games. They want to know about games. Streaming.
I love
Don't
it.
care about whether you're living a clean and fit life. Also, let's be real. How much of your quest for physical fitness was you to be comfortable doing a hot tub stream?
Oh, that was honestly, I never really spoke about this on stream, but those were becoming very prevalent at the
Yeah.
time that I decided to start losing weight. And I was like, I do not look good in a two-piece bikini, and that needs to change. So it was, it fueled a lot of my motivation for sure.
Okay. Great. And you're almost there, right? So are you
Yeah,
almost at
yeah.
that point where you're comfortable and
No,
we're gonna
what's
we're gonna bring
crazy
in the
is
pool?
no matter how much weight I lost, I still have crippling body dysmorphia. So, hey, some things never change. You know?
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
Um, well, let's get back into this. I kind of talk about a lot of personal preferences, all those other things. What do you think makes a good streaming game? Is that even a thing that makes sense, or is it one of these no one really knows until you see it type things?
I think there are certain games that are built for streams. Like there are, and not to say that they can't be enjoyed off stream or anything like that, but just like the dynamic for it. A lot of these like goofy co-op games that come out now, I'm sure you could sit down with some buddies and stuff like that and enjoy it. But like Gang Beasts, I think is what it was called, was one of the first like 4-player just
Sure.
weird, silly movement, goofy gameplay that when you got four buddies together and you were just like bashing each other, it was hilarity. It was so good. And so I feel like there are games that do really, really well on stream. Also, like the so bad it's good type content where it's like this game is miserable and I would like if I had just spent money on this game, tried to play it and be like, okay, that was a good purchase. I enjoyed those 2-3 hours. It wouldn't happen, but because I do it on stream and we get to laugh together as a collective, it's so worth it. Um, and I don't know if that's ever like intended. I do feel like the streaming space has gotten so large and so popular now that a lot of developers do have that in mind. Um, but there are games that do better on stream, and then I think it just comes down to the streamer. Like competitive games are usually really tough for me. Like I kind of take it a step back from them because I'm like, why? Even like, I love Escape from Tarkov. It's an extremely hard game. I have about 1,500 hours in it. I'm awful. And sometimes I have these like mental battles where I'm like, why would someone watch me play this game struggle so much when they can go watch like a Pestily or something like that, who is like not only really good at the game, but also can engage with chat while he's being good at the game, where it takes every ounce of my focus to just survive even just a few minutes in the game. Like I'll go literally 10, 15 minutes without blinking, looking at chat, and then I'm like, oh, good, I'm streaming. Like, how are we doing today, guys? Everyone good? You know? So uh I do think it comes down to like the streamer, what they're comfortable with, and what they can do to make a good
Yeah,
streaming game.
sure. That makes sense. Um, is there any game that either you said, man, I got to give this, I guess this is coming. This is a game that I should be streaming. I really don't want to. And then you tried it and you're like, oh, actually, I'm really into this.
Eugenics was
Oh, okay. Yeah.
literally, we just got into that. I mean, it's funny because I'm sure it's happened dozens of times throughout the years, but um, I normally when I
I like
look
a
for games to
contemporary answer. That's great.
we look for games to play on stream that are like on the shorter side as far as like single player games go.
Yeah.
Um, and so I looked it up and I didn't realize that it was a roguelike and it was like 100 hours to beat the base. I was like, guys, we don't have, if we're only playing like 1 to 2 hours a day, it's going to take us the rest of the year to get through this game. We don't have that in us. I'm just not going to play it. And then like chat was like, no, you got to try it. You got to try it. And I was like, all right, all right. And then we jumped into it this week and I was like, oh my God, this is so great. And I don't know, like we're still like very new at it. I've only streamed it 2 days now. And it's like, I don't know if it's going to be a good stream game. I don't know necessarily if I'm enjoying it, which is super important for me right now. But it's definitely like in that category.
That's cool. Very good. Is that also a kind of game where I guess I haven't played it, but I know it's the Thomas was a lone guy. There's cats and there's a lot of interesting decisions to make, that kind of stuff. Do you tap into the chat to guide your play at that point, especially if you're playing a single player game, or do you kind of are you the captain of the ship and
With
it's more of a dictatorship?
with Mugenics, it's a little bit easier to kind of be like, what should we do here, chat? But a lot of
Yeah.
other single players, it's I
Discord,
try and just
sorry,
lock in.
dispatch. Another good example. I saw that was in
Ooh,
your gaming history. Was
yeah.
that one where you kind of said, "Man, I want to take this journey and make my decisions," or did you kind of give chat some sense of decision making,
That was
democratic
definitely
choice.
that was definitely a dictatorship,
Okay.
and chat let me hear it. Like when I would make a decision that they wouldn't want to make. Oh, what are you doing? Wait, another like that style of games was I always really loved like the Walking Dead, choose your own
Yeah, sure.
adventure series. Like
Telltale games.
all
Yep.
yeah all oh my God, I'm a huge fan of Telltale, um and so like those games were always really fun to kind of like go through my own playthrough and then see how it differs from chats and like get a different outcome or like then bond over like yeah I know I had to save this person or I had to do this romance this person, and so it's like it's a fun back and forth where I think it's kind of better to just make your own decisions in that case.
There's probably some sort of through line or understanding that you could come to where you said, why are people watching me play this game that I'm not good at? And allowing chat to make certain decisions for you, because it's, you might want to make decisions that they might want to set you up to make more silly decisions that would
For
not
sure.
be the optimal golden path. Like if I was going to watch
Yeah.
somebody play Mass Effect, I'd want to watch them be a renegade, because I would
Yeah.
never play Mass Effect as a renegade.
Yeah.
I'd play
Yeah.
Paragon the whole way through. So it's like I want to see you punch that reporter and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing though, is like for every renegade in chat, like there's the opposite as well. There's like, oh, I would never do that. So it's kind of just like I think it's better to kind of like have a balance. Like I'm mostly like neutral good in playthroughs where like I would make decisions that I would make IRL or answer things that I would answer IRL as best as I can. I feel really guilty about betraying even pixels on a screen. So I tend to lean towards the good side of things. And so like when I do have like those moments, it like really is like, oh my God, what that doesn't seem like Vern. And it's like
Yeah,
sometimes I regret it, but for the majority of the time, it's just it's like in good fun.
that's great. What what kind of trends outside of the games themselves are you seeing in streaming? Like, is there any emerging tech? Is there any new platforms? Anything that excites you or that's interesting that people should have on their radar if they themselves are in the streaming space or want to keep an eye out for things?
Man, I that's tough because there's every single week there's something new, and it's really
Yeah.
about like what takes hold. I think I'm personally really bad about pursuing because I don't know, maybe it's like part laziness or maybe it's a part of like seeing so many come through over the years. Like these companies will come up, oh, sign up for here, do this, add this, do this, and then they're gone within a few months. So
Yeah.
I tend to not like invest too much of my time into that. However, that's also led to a lot of missed opportunities on my part to like just improve. Like I'm confident in my stream and the content that I put out, but there are just like a lot of missed opportunities. Like there, I was just watching a clip from a Tarkov streamer who has chat set up that affects their game, which would be
Mm.
great for someone who's already not good, where like chat can like use channel points to make them like unload their mag in game. And then all of a sudden they don't have any bullets for the next gunfight. And so there's like programs that exist like that, that if I should be more on top of because they can enhance. So there are things like crowd control seems like really fun where a lot of games sign up and you can have chat like Baldur's Gate 3, for example. I'm pretty sure you can have chat just straight up select your choices.
Oh,
And so it like there's a lot of integration that I think could be really good um, for content creators. I'm just not privy to many of them. So there's
okay.
there's stuff that exists. There's a lot of programs, a lot of companies that are doing a lot of good for streamers. Um, even like multicasting right now, like that's something that I should be doing that I'm not, and I'm probably gonna get on it soon. Um, of just like streaming to Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, honestly, as many platforms as you can. I think the biggest thing that streamers can and should be doing right now is diversifying their content. It used to be back in the day where you could just post on YouTube, you could just stream on Twitch, and there was enough discoverability. But now I attribute it to too many chefs in the kitchen, which is great
Mhm.
because streaming has become so accessible. But when there's too many chefs in the kitchen, there's no one in the dining room, you know? And so it's hard when platforms don't have a lot of discoverability built in, and then one platform will figure out the algorithm.
Mm.
And then it drives traffic everywhere. Like I just had a video on Instagram Reels. Like I really don't post it to Instagram like photos or anything like that, but I started posting Reels months ago. Um, and it's been great. Like I'll get people in my stream that will be like, "Oh, I saw your reel. It went crazy. Like that was so funny. Are you still playing that game?" And I'm like, "No, but that's on YouTube. You can go watch the full playthrough on YouTube." So now it's like it trickles from there.
Yeah.
Um, so that's probably as far as like streaming platforms and stuff that streamers should be on the lookout for. I think that's probably the best piece of advice that I could give to streamers is to make sure that you're diversifying your content and utilizing your content in the most efficient way possible. You stream for 6 hours a day, 4 hours a day. You should be able to pull a few short form clips that you can post to YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikTok, whatever other platform may pop up. Like just post stuff everywhere. And if they're like, oh, this my biggest pet peeve right now
Yeah.
is I will see a clip from my stream that I find hilarious. I'm like, this is content, baby. This is 20 years in the making. I've finally nailed it. I'll upload it, 30 views. And then the other clip that I was like, I need something to post today. We need to get something out. I'll clip it, ship it, 1 million views. And I'm like, all right, clearly, it's all numbers, baby. It's all algorithms. You have no control over it. Post anything, post everything, and just have fun with it.
Yeah, that's good. Kind of maybe taking one step back. If someone, I was going to save this for the end, but let's do this now before I get into a bunch of, our home stretch here. If someone wanted to get into streaming, what would you recommend? Like they're not even starting up anything. Maybe they're working a full time job. Maybe they're a student, but they want to dabble and they want to give it a shot. What would you recommend?
You have to you have to just want to do it because chances are you are going to be streaming to you and your phone are going to be your only two viewers for potentially ever.
Mm, it's
And
true.
you need to be comfortable getting on stream and interacting. If there's not a chat to interact with the game in a way that when that one chatter does come into stream, they will be at the very least intrigued by what you're doing. If it's like League of Legends, for example, if you're good at the game, you already have a leg up, right? Now talk through your thought process, which is a skill. It's something that not many people do while they're gaming. And so while you're streaming now, you have to really tap into that. Discuss why you warded here, why you're positioning here, why you're going there, why you're buying this. Just give something for that one chatter to engage with because I promise you, if they show up to a stream and you are sitting there in silence, they're not going to stay. You know? So get into it because for the love of the game, not because you want to become famous or make a ton of money, because the likelihood of that happening is very, very slim. And there's going to be a huge mountain that you have to climb before you get to any of that. So do it for the love of the game, have fun with it. And like I said, streaming's become so accessible to people that you really don't even need a good PC anymore. You can stream from
Right.
consoles now directly to Twitch. Like there's so many outlets for you to produce content now that you really can just do it. And
Yeah.
so I will say if you are going to invest like real time and real money into it, like things like making sure you have a good microphone setup and a good camera setup. But then in the same sense, there are dozens of insanely popular streamers that have never turned on a webcam. There are dozens of insanely popular streamers that still use headphone microphones and have made it a part of their branding, even, you know? So there are still avenues to success, but just make sure that you are doing it because you enjoy doing it, right?
Mm,
You don't want it to be a grind or a job before you're even feet off the ground, you know?
right. Yeah, that's good. Um, Man, there was a really good pointer for a callback there. But I do want to ask you some of these other questions. But I'm going to do the callback anyway, because otherwise it would have been like a
Sure.
perfect way to end the point. But it's like, maybe you don't. I was going to say, at what point do you have to invest in the neon lights?
Oh, that's down the road after a good webcam, I would say. Once
Okay,
you get the
good.
good webcam and people can see, then LEDs, neon signs, customize them, dude. The more, the better. I think
That's
I'm
like a
lacking a
hundred,
few.
a hundred viewers, or like 50 viewers. If you get like consistently 50 viewers or more, then get a
Yeah,
neon sign. That's like good, maybe something
it
like
should
that.
be everyone. As soon as they become affiliate, it should be everyone's first sub goal
Okay, great.
is
That's a
neon
good idea.
customized neon sign,
Right.
and then you
Great.
can never rebrand afterwards. You're stuck with it.
You're
Whatever you
just stuck.
choose.
Or find a neon sign sponsorship opportunity and then get them all.
That's an untapped market.
Idea. You could take that. You could have
Yeah,
it. All
custom
right.
neon signs for streamers.
Let's do some quick questions here about Atari, the relationship between you and Atari,
Heck yeah.
because it's funny that we were talking before this. This is the first time we've had a conversation. Like
Yeah, seriously.
I've never met Vern before this podcast. So like I'm asking these questions that I would if we were just hanging out.
Yeah.
So, but people joining and they see that. I think it's cool to look behind the curtain. That's one of the reasons why I like doing these podcasts so much, is to just get some insight into that. So how did you end up being the guy who's streaming for Atari?
That's so funny. Because technically I don't think I'm an Atari employee. I'm still like a contractor, but
Yeah.
I dude, so one of the dark sides of streaming is that money is very inconsistent, right?
Hmm.
And a lot of times a lot of streamers are very reliant on their community, and I know that times have been very tough for a lot of people. And so like I never want to sit there and bleed the people that gave me the greatest opportunity of my life dry. Like I'm never going to be that guy. And so if I need to supplement income to live my life, pay my bills, I'm going to do that. And so I was pursuing jobs outside of streaming and like everything. I was applying to like jobs locally, IRL, and I was looking for jobs within like the content creation space because I've been doing that now for almost 20 years. It's like pretty much my bread and butter. But I wanted to get on uh the more business side of things for game companies. So I was applying or like talent agencies as well. Like I really wanted to work. I still wanted to work within the space, work with creators, and advocate for creators. And so initially, I was brought on to help Sam with creator outreach and like building out programs and stuff for creators. And then like halfway like into that, she was like, also, we want to start streaming again. And I was like, that's like, yeah, I want to learn the business side of things, but also like that's my bread and butter. If you guys want me to stream for you, like that's so like that's I can do that. And
Hmm.
so we started streaming every week and then it just kind of progressed from there. We have like weekly meetings and I'm like from a streamer point of view, like these are some things that I would do. This is some and like these are some things that I would change. This is how I would work it. And I'm so grateful that Atari has been so receptive to that as well and actually sees the value in the streams to the point where like now it's like also I'm like getting the content for like short form and stuff like that. And it seems like they've been really happy with the streams and it's hard to gauge from my perspective. Um just because like I'm not on that side of things. And I'm very, very critical of my work. And so like I'm constantly looking for feedback and what I should do differently and how they want to be perceived. And it's like I've been doing this for months now, and I feel like I'm finally finding a rhythm where it's like being good streamer, having fun with chat, making game enjoyable, but then also like showing off the things that Atari wants to show off. There's like these added features in this remake. It's like this dev is known for this, and like we want to show that off on stream. And so like I'm really finding a balance as I like get more accustomed to like the types of games and like the developers and stuff. Um, to where I can, even if it's like the stream itself doesn't do, there's been a numerous times now where like the stream itself maybe not have the most viewers, but like somebody from that stream takes a clip and it's on Twitter and there's like 500,000 views later, you know, and
Wow. Yeah.
it's like, it's worth it, you know, and
Mhm.
it's so cool and it's so fun to be a part of too. Cause like Atari was a little bit before my time. My first, console was a Super Nintendo that I grew up with.
Okay. And you're about to get into one of my last questions, but yeah, let's do
Okay.
this. I
Okay.
already like where you're going. I don't have to ask the
Hit
question.
me.
Do it. No, no, I was going to say history with Atari.
Oh,
Um, but no, I feel like you're kind of going to hit upon that a little bit with where you're going
yeah.
now.
So
So have at it.
that's what I was gonna get in. I was gonna get into is like
Yeah.
most of the games I know of. Like I've heard of them. I've seen them. Just as a gamer, like I love gaming history
Hmm.
and stuff too. But like I've never got hands on with a lot of the games that we're playing and like that Atari's producing or remaking or you know. And so it's been a blast to get into and sometimes a struggle. Like I've noticed one of
Yeah.
my biggest hiccups is like older games, like okay, newer games, you play through a tutorial. You don't have to read anything because
Hmm.
everything is given to you in game. Like there's it's pretty much standard now for new games to have a tutorial on how to play their game. W
Yeah.
to walk, press left click to interact, like all those types of things. A lot of these games that I'm playing on Atari stream, there's no manuals, there's no tutorials. It's like for fans who have like played it before, understand how these types of games are played. The amount of times that I'm streaming a game for 2 hours and at the very end of stream realize there's a sprint button. I've been walking at a snail's pace for 2 hours and then realize that I could have been running this whole time. I'm being swarmed by zombies. Dude, I could have ran from them, but I didn't because I didn't. And so like now when I play a new game or something like that, I'll just spam controls and try and figure it out initially. Um,
That's got
so
to be
yeah,
part of the stream now. You got to start by if you're playing an old game, you have to
yeah,
start by reading the manual. You got to go through it.
yeah,
Like you're going through being like, let's see what we got here. Let's read the old lore. Like nobody, zero people have ever picked up Yar's Revenge for the first time and knew what was happening. None.
yeah.
None.
They really just throw you in the deep end, you
Yeah,
know?
well, they were figuring it out. I'd say that for
Yeah,
a lot of things. Like when you look at the Atari games back then, even a lot of NES games, even I mean now to an extent, but back then there was no blueprint, there was no guide. You made interactive things. It's like it didn't exist. UX controls. It comes up with the when talking about Bubsy 3D was a prime example of figuring it out. Nintendo clearly figured out a better option with Mario 64, but the guys who were making Bubsy 3D, they said, well, we're making a 3D Bub. We got 3D tech. Let's make a 3D Bubsy game. Should play something like this. And they were
yeah.
wrong. But it's just something that you do when you try to figure it out. Thumbsticks didn't become prevalent until the N64 and the first Dual Shock, before they became commonplace. And now you can't imagine a controller without thumbsticks.
Yeah,
So games with tutorials, you can't imagine a game without a tutorial or some form of organic onboarding to an
yeah,
experience now, as opposed to before, like you play the original Zelda. What's the story? What's going on? Read the manual. Read our novella before you find out what's happening
yeah.
in this game.
And I feel like that was more commonplace. I remember like, I mean, this may be TMI. We'll cut out the details, but like every trip to the bathroom, I had an Oblivion like
It's
guide.
staying in. It's staying in.
Like
Staying in. I don't know what
it
to tell
was
you.
every time I've probably read that thing cover to cover probably 5 6 times. You
Yeah.
know,
It's good
so
stuff. Love it. That's awesome. And you know what? You're not that much younger than me, so we're of similar mind where I'm a product of the 90s, grew up playing NES, SNES, and really hit the gaming stride with the GameCube era, those kind of things. So Atari for me, yeah, there was some games. I mean, I had an Asteroids game at some point. I knew about it. We had an Atari 400 in my house. That was my stepdad. So I remember playing Centipede, which was great, but it's not it's not like the core gaming memories like a Mario Brothers, like a Zelda or Star Fox or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just different. Um, so to wrap up, I got this one last question here. Um, since you've been streaming with Atari, what have been some of the more memorable moments, or which of our games have you enjoyed the most? Because you keep coming back week to week. You haven't rage quit yet because you hate playing the games. I think, I don't know, but I
I
was curious about that.
That is there's several layers to that.
Great,
I don't think there's any one particular game that is like, oh, I'm like so excited to play this, because a lot of times I don't even know what's ahead of me, you know.
sure, yeah,
Um, but I think experiencing these new games and experiencing them, well, technically old games, and experiencing them with such a
but even the new
dedicated
stuff,
fan, yeah,
whatever it is that we're releasing. I mean, I think you did a stream for TRDS, Total Reliable Delivery Service, right? Like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's a newer
yeah,
game. That one came out in 2020 that
yeah.
we acquired.
Um,
So
but you guys have such a awesome and dedicated fan base that has been so supportive and so welcoming. Um, which was it was very intimidating at first. I remember my first couple of meetings, like they were trying to prepare me, like there will be people that come in there and they will, like, they'll know things, and I'm like, all right, dude, I'll try not to disappoint. This is like big shoes to fill. I don't even know whose shoes they are, but I'll do my best. And they've been nothing but supportive. We've had even when I make a fool of myself, it's just fun, and learning all these new games and the histories behind them, um, and just having chat be there and like give me little factoids, or if I'm struggling in a section, they'd be like, "Well, maybe try this." I'm like, "Oh my god, you little devil! You should have told me that 20 minutes ago," you know. Um, but it's been fun, and it's also been really cool to then go and experience a lot of games that I knew of. Like, we just did a Turok 2 stream, and I was like, I
yes,
grew up
love that.
when Turok was a thing. I had just never, dude, I was playing it and I was like, dude, I'm pretty sure I played Turok growing up, but like, I don't remember any of this. And so it was like a brand new game and we had so much fun with it. So just kind of like going back and reliving those moments are really cool for me. It's really fun. And like I said, not knowing what's coming next. I mean, you guys are always putting out stuff. So it always keeps me
So
on my
much stuff.
toes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep it up and make sure there's always something there to play. And that's on Thursdays at what time again?
6 p.m. Eastern.
6 p.m. Eastern. So everybody check that out. Tune in. And one more time, Vern, we're obviously gonna wrap up here. This is my wrapping up tone. So we've gone long, but that's good. I think this has been awesome. So thank you for joining. It's been really great talking, learning all about the world of streaming and you and fitness. My God, we covered a lot. We covered
Yeah,
so
dude,
much.
I'm a yapper. I'm sorry.
No, this is perfect. I love it.
Yeah.
Normally if I need somebody to come on the podcast and just keep and just talk, I'll hit up Dan Amrick. But now I got you. I could fill in
For
as
sure,
well. I
dude.
got a few people I could call in to just chat with. So this is great. Shout out to
Uh,
Dan. He'll appreciate it. So yeah, twitch.tv/VernNotice.
that's where you find me.
That's where you can find him outside of the Atari streams. And that Atari stream is twitch.tv/Atari. All these links will be below. And your YouTube link one more time.
YouTube.com/loading God mode.
Loading God mode. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. I'm going to just type that in here. All right. And you can find me on Blue Sky at Jays of Doom. Comment below if if you just want to say something. I read all the comments, all of them, including that one thing that one guy wrote. I read it. It's fine. Till next time. Thanks for listening, guys.